How is everyone doing today? And in this video, we are going to be talking about all the characters that are going to be coming in the next version, especially with the live stream just happening. A lot of you don't know what the reruns are and also who you should pull on. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about everybody in this patch who's going to be coming out as a rerun, and also our brand new character that's going to be coming out, which is going to be Rappa, which I'm not going to lie, she's super exciting for the most part when it comes to her design and what she's going to fulfill. So Rappa right now is going to be a super break erudition character. She's going to be primarily hitting all the enemies on the field and breaking them, doing a lot of damage, all that different type of stuff, and working around her enhanced basic attacks, which she gets when she's hitting her ultimate. Now, we don't have a lot of information in regards to all the nuanced things in her talents, all the nuanced things in her traces, but realistically, she looks to be a pure fiction type of break character if you still need a break character that or you need a character period that is going to work in pure fiction, because that's the main way she is going to be playing. And for the most part, she looks pretty interesting. I don't see 100% where she's going to be used besides pure fiction and some of the other modes like a AoE based MOC or anything like that. So we are gonna have to wait until we are able to showcase her to be able to see if she works in MOC, if she works in pure fiction only, because she is erudition and she does hit the whole entire wave of enemies, which is a really nice thing to have, especially with us having more enemies on the field in MOC. So right now, Rappa is our break AoE unit, which is a pretty cool thing. She does have a lot of competition though when it comes to going against someone like Boohill and also going against someone like Firefly, who we know is our #1 break character at the moment, with how strong those characters are right now. And especially because all these guys technically share a team. You can run Boohill kinda with other characters that aren't HMC or Ruame. You can have a mix of the two. Firefly really does need HMC, while we don't know what Rappa needs right now. She could need Ruame, she could need Ruame and HMC. We're gonna have no idea what the force restrictions are going to be on her team until we get to showcase her out, so we're gonna have to wait and see about that. But specifically about Rappa, there's not really a lot in regards to this patch that make this the highlight of the, I guess you could say, patch. Rappa really isn't the MVP of her own patch, because we actually have a lot of characters that are coming out for a rerun. They're going to be very interesting to see in the warp events, which our first one is going to be alongside Rappa is going to be Imbibitor Lunae. And with Imbibitor Lunae right now, in regards to what he's at in the game, he's not really in the best of spots. Right now, a lot of the hyper carry characters, not just Imbibitor Lunae, because he is technically still okay as a character. Characters like Imbibitor Lunae, characters like Jing Liu, and a lot of these other hyper carry type characters aren't really in the best of shapes right now when it comes to being able to be a DPS, versus a lot of the crazier characters that we have in the game right now, compared to someone like Acheron, compared to someone like Fei Xiao, compared to all these other crazy characters like Boohill and even Firefly. There's been a lot of support for a lot of these different characters when it comes to the break characters like Firefly and Boohill, when it comes to the massive amount of support that we've gotten with follow-up. Same thing with Robin, same thing with Fei Xiao, and then we even have another character like Acheron, who we are going to talk about in a quick second, that is able to infinitely get a higher value as more units come out. So that's a pretty good thing as well. So right now, hyper carry just isn't in the best of places in regards to the meta right now in terms of DPSs. Really right now for Dan Heng, he is a multi-part character where you do need multiple other characters to be able to get him at his peak performance, and even his peak performance isn't going to be as high as a lot of these other characters like Fei Xiao, like Acheron, like Boohill, and like Firefly, because you need Dan Heng. You're going to need someone like Sparkle, you're going to need Ting Yun. These characters are going to carry Dan Heng super far into the most amount of damage as he's able to do, just because Sparkle's able to give that extra skill points, able to get that extra crit damage, a lot of the stuff that Dan Heng really wants. If you don't have Sparkle, you're going to need Sparkle technically when it comes to Dan Heng. Can he be used without him? Yes. But realistically, even with his best in slot team, doesn't compare to the crazy characters we have now, like Acheron, Fei Xiao, Boohill, and also Firefly. And going on to the next ones, this is where it gets interesting, because looking at the next few characters for our next patch, Acheron is getting her first rerun, which that's very exciting and very interesting as well, because she is definitely a character I put on everyone's list to go ahead and pick up, because Acheron and Fei Xiao right now are the two MVPs of the game right now in terms of being the super DPSs in the game. And the reason I say this is because realistically, looking at characters like Fei Xiao and also Acheron, these characters inherently get more value as time goes by and get more value as more characters come out. Every time a character can debuff, that's technically a new teammate for Acheron to use on the team. Same thing goes for Fei Xiao. Anytime a character can advance themselves forward, anytime a character is able to do a follow-up, that's another teammate for Fei Xiao. These are the super leaders of their team, or the super DPSs of the game, and these are definitely characters I would 100% pick up if I didn't have already. So right now, the MVP of the patch, if you don't already have Acheron, will be Acheron because of how insane she is as the DPS, and also the amount of value you get from her when you are using her with all her teammates that she possibly has in the game, which are a lot in this game, which she's a really great unit and a big nuking leader as well. Really crazy unit to have and make sure to have when she comes by, again, if you don't already have Acheron. And then the next character, which is super interesting, is going to be Aventurine, with being our preservation character for the patch, and Aventurine equally so. Really freaking good character when it comes to what he's able to do as a sustain. He has infinite shields, he's able to reapply those shields, he's able to do his own damage, he's able to supply stacks to someone like Fei Xiao, he's able to do a lot of damage in tandem with Robin. There's a lot of really good stuff that comes out of these two characters with Aventurine. And not only that, Aventurine is just a god tier sustain for a lot of the modes in the game when it comes to MOC, not being able to penetrate his shields, when it comes to being a really good sustain for something like Simulated Universe or Divergent Universe, because of how strong shields are in those modes. Aventurine is just a really good defense unit when it comes to being a sustain. He basically allows you to never die in the game. He stops one shots, he has damage plus supportive ability with giving you crit damage, and also is able to give you sustain. So he carries every single portion of the game in this one character, and that makes him a really good one. So realistically, when looking at this patch, the MVPs of this patch will be the second half, which will be Acheron and Aventurine. Two amazing characters in the meta right now when it comes to Acheron being a great DPS, and when it comes to someone like Aventurine being a god tier sustain. Rappa right now doesn't seem to be in the craziest of spots because she does have to compete with someone like Firefly and someone like Boohill as well, with Dan Heng being the hyper carry leaders right now, because there's really not that many characters right now in terms of the hyper carry meta, in terms of the hyper carry archetype, that are going to fulfill what they need to get Dan Heng up there where the rest of these guys are at when it comes to Boohill, Firefly, Acheron, and Fei Xiao. The hyper carry teams right now just haven't got a lot of support. Same thing goes for Dot. Dot also hasn't got a lot of support when it comes to the characters coming out. So we're gonna have to wait for that support to come out for when their future reruns come out, like Kafka, like Black Swan, which they have already passed, for these guys to get a boost, for the hyper carry characters to get a boost. Right now, we're only and solely focusing on Acheron and Aventurine. And my say is, if you don't already have Acheron, don't already have Aventurine, I would severely look into getting either Acheron or Aventurine. If you don't have a sustain at all on your account, get Aventurine. If you don't have Acheron on your account, get Acheron. These are two really well invested characters. Acheron being able to be one of the best characters in the game for a very long time, and I don't see her getting put down anytime soon. And then Aventurine being the god tier sustain that he is, while being able to do damage, being able to do support, and being able to carry you through almost any game mode in the game at the current moment, which is a really good thing for him. Now, reminder, we do have some characters coming out in the future that I do want to go ahead and talk about in regards to, of course, summoning on Acheron and Aventurine, because it's really close to the next patch, which we're gonna have to wait till the next stream to see what they do. But we did see that Ting Yun did get, I guess you could say, showcased off on the drip marketing, and Sunday is going to be Harmony Imaginary, and we also have Ting Yun, or Fuge, I think. I don't know exactly how to say the name, my bad. I will learn it very soon. But she's going to be Fire Nihility, so that even more so buffs out Acheron. We have no idea what they're going to do. I do suspect something like Sunday to be able to, I guess you could say, do Super Break or something like that. I don't know. But Harmony characters are always the most busted and most valuable characters in the game, so that is something we do have to think about in regards to looking at Acheron and Aventurine. Of course, you don't have to summon for Acheron and Aventurine as soon as they come out on their patch. You can wait for the next drip marketing, because we are getting into the next region very soon, and we are also looking at the stream from when we get to look at how Ting Yun works and also how Sunday works, which, being a Nihility character, and also being a Harmony character. That's a pretty valuable patch right there that can work for a bunch of different units in the game. So we're gonna have to wait and see how that's going to pan out. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the video. These are the characters that are gonna come out in the patch. See y'all guys in the next one, and peace.